welcome to YarnGasm. I'm Kristen and this is episode 269. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. And if you are a new viewer, welcome to the podcast. This is a podcast about mostly knitting, sewing, and making all the things in Brooklyn, New York, where I'm from and I live with my husband Dennis and our adorable cat Bella. And as always, I'm so happy that you're taking some time out of your day to chat about those things with me. A couple of administrati things before I get into what I've been making. If you would like to follow me on the interwebs, I am at Voolenvine on Instagram, where I'm most active. And if you want to follow me on Ravelry, I'm Voolenvine on there as well. And if you haven't already, please do join in on the YarnGasm Ravelry group. It's the place to be if you want to chat about the podcast, ask questions, partake in our giveaways and knit-alongs that are happening. Right now we have the hashtag Year of the Garment knit-along that's currently underway and the hashtag BOXOSOXKAL 2018 knit-along. So definitely hop on over there if you are interested in knitting all the socks in 2018 and knitting all the garments in 2018, because that's what's going on right now. And show notes for this episode and every other episode can be found over at the blog, which is www.yarngasmpodcast.com. And that said, I think that is it for announcements. Nothing huge, mega to announce this week. It's been pretty much business as usual. So that said, I'm gonna move along to what I've been making this week. And as for knitting, no finished objects to share with you this week, but I do have some works in progress. And living in a project bag that I forgot to share with you, Kate from Hawthorne Cottage Craft and Podcast so wonderfully gifted me this beautiful project bag that she made, and we had met at the Indian Tangle Trunk Show last year in October. I met her for the first time. She was hanging out with, or staying with Selma of the Little Big Knits podcast, and it was really great getting to meet you, Kate. And I got to meet her again this year at the Edinburgh Yarn Festival, so thank you so much again, Kate, for this really, really beautiful project bag. It's really, really clever actually too. Well, I believe her Etsy shop is taking a quick break, but there's her logo. And yeah, it's just like this really huge fluffy, I don't know if fluffy is the right word to describe it, but it's very well it's like a very nicely padded project bag. So it's very soft and it has like 3 snaps. So if you're knitting colorwork, which I have been doing quite a lot lately, you can snap 3 snaps closed and then have the yarn coming out from the top. It's pretty ingenious. And then it has like this really awesome big button right here. But anyway, I really love it. It's been getting a lot of use and just kicking myself for not sharing it with you sooner. But yeah, living in it are 2 projects that I've been pretty much just carrying along with me throughout the house whenever I have to work down here or upstairs. I've been toting it along and it holds a lot. So Kate, it's been coming in handy. So yeah, first up is my Belmont Cardigan, which is a pattern by Gudrun Johnston. And I cast this on, as I mentioned last episode, I cast it on last year around the same time of year, I want to say. But for some reason, well, not for some reason, but for a reason, that the 2 skeins that I had of Plucky Knitter were from 2 different dye lots, and it was just a mega fail on my part for not alternating skeins between rows to kind of jumble that up, if that makes sense. But anyway, I cast it on again using different yarn. I'm going to repurpose the Plucky Knitter yarn, don't worry, it's not a lost cause, but I will find another project for that yarn because it is absolutely beautiful, squishy yarn. But anyway, here is my Belmont Cardigan. It's bottom to top, so I'm working my way from the bottom up along the body, and it is just a really, really enjoyable, intuitive knit. I can totally watch podcasts, I can binge watch TV shows while working on it. The pattern, the lace pattern, it seems really, I don't know if you can see it, it has like a kind of zigzag motif going on, but it's, you know, it looks pretty complicated, but it's incredibly easy to memorize. So really enjoying that. I swapped out the needles. So I was using metal needles before, but I really wasn't liking the way it was playing with the Tuku wool fingering weight, which I'm using to knit this. I should probably talk about the yarn. This is Tuku wool fingering weight yarn. It's 100% Finnish wool fingering, as the name suggests, in the Uho colorway. And it's just this really gorgeous heathery mauve color, which very, very, very appropriate. So yeah, it's a very rustic yarn, and I was using metal needles at first to knit it, and I just really wasn't liking the way the metal and the wool were playing together. So I purchased some US size 2 Lucka circulars. So these are US size 2 2.75 millimeter needles, and it's like butter. The stitches just glide on this thing. It's wonderful. It has just the right amount of traction, if you can describe the stickiness of a needle to yarn. So I'm really glad I made that decision. But yeah, I have this little kitty progress keeper from Stunning String Studios, as are these stitch markers. I really love these stitch markers, you guys. They're just simple copper jump rings, and again, I got them from Slipstring Studios. Super affordable, and you know, they're very photogenic, if that makes any sense, because I do appreciate a good stitch marker, you know, that's kind of fun and colorful. I don't know, it's just my own preference when I take photos for Instagram. I like things to look aesthetically pleasing and nice, so I really like the fact that these are simple, they match with pretty much everything that I knit with, and they're very photogenic, if that's how you can describe stitch markers. So the other thing that I wanted to chat about is this other progress keeper here. I really don't know why I still have my kitty progress keeper here. It just makes me happy. But yeah, I purchased another progress keeper here, which I don't know if you can see. It is, it's an oyster. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, it's an oyster stitch marker, or progress keeper, that I got from, believe it or not, Cakery Bakery, she is mostly known for her pastry progress keepers and stitch markers and charms, I should say. However, I am a self-professed savory tooth person. I do not possess a sweet tooth at all, I have to say, except chocolate. I love chocolate and I love ice cream, but honestly, like cake and pies, I don't know. I'm one of those weirdos that just don't like cake and pie. But I do love me some oysters, and as soon as I saw that she had an oyster progress keeper, it's one of her newer ones, I was just like, I must have this in my life, because these are my guilty pleasure. If it's a special occasion and I'm going out to eat, I'm gonna get some oysters. Yeah, it's just so delicious. But anyway, yeah, I know it's not it's pretty. I mean, you know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, my friends. Yeah, it's an oyster. I love them. It brings me joy, so there you go. Anyway, so yeah. So anyway, that is where I am with my Belmont cardigan. Really enjoying it. It's not only, while I really want to be able to wear it ASAP, I'm also really enjoying the knit. So it's definitely one of those patterns. So anyway, yes, here I'm mid-row. But here is where I am so far. Yeah. So again, as always, Helen Stewart's patterns are incredibly relaxing to knit, very intuitive. Although I will say the row that I'm currently on is a little bit of a mind twist. Not a mind twist, but like I do have to pay attention to the chart while I'm knitting from it, because it does involve a little bit more involved lace. But yeah, it's just very, very relaxing to work on so far. And yeah, that is where I am. And this color right here is Curious, and then the white right here is Solstice, and then this bluish navy purple color here is Thaw. And yeah, so lots of stitches on the needles at the moment, but really enjoying it. And yeah, and okay, you can look back now if you have been averting your eyes. So yeah, that is it for works in progress. As far as sewing, nothing to write home about this week. Although I am wearing my GERTIE dress. I'm totally blanking on the pattern number. It's a Butterick pattern. It's one of her newer ones that she came out with, or I believe last summer she came out with it, but it's just a simple princess seam spaghetti strap dress with a gathered skirt. So I'll stand up. And this was my Rhinebeck dress. So I wore this to Rhinebeck last year. Love this pattern so much. I have another one that I made, and I'm going to be making a lot more for this summer. a lot more, as in maybe 1 or 2. So anyway, a great pattern, highly recommend it. I did have to alter the bust line a little bit, like maybe a small bust adjustment to the bodice of the pattern. And yeah, the fabric is a Shuttles by Cotton and Steel. I think fabric.com still has this in stock, but Shuttles is one of my favorite fabrics so far to sew with. It has that cotton feel, but it's very drapey and you can move in it compared to quilting cotton, which is rather stiff, if I had to describe it. So definitely, if you are a newbie sewist and you want to up the ante when it comes to fabric and move away from quilting cottons, definitely check out Shuttles. Although I will say, when you're cutting out the pieces, you might want to use some weights and a rotary cutter, because it is somewhat slippery. So that is my word of wisdom to you if you are a newbie sewist. So anyway, that's it for sewing. However, I did get a small fabric haul. So I think I'll share that with you. I was, as I mentioned, I want to make a few more of the versions of this dress. So I got some more Shuttles fabric and some more, it's also cotton and steel. And you might be thinking, Kristen, this is a little out of my comfort zone. It's a little Hawaiian, or it definitely has like a tropical feel to it. And I was kind of motivated to buy this fabric because Dennis and I just booked our Memorial Day weekend. Memorial Day weekend, which is pretty much the kickoff holiday for the summer. So we just booked our trip to, are you ready for it? Cancun. So yeah, we found a really good deal online, and we are going away to Cancun, Mexico at the end of May. So very much needed relaxing vacation. So I figured something a little bit more tropical and island friendly was in order. So anyway, it's really it has a navy blue background, but also like these palm leaves and mauve. Of course, yeah, the mauve sold me on it, of course. Kind of like beigey mauve flowers and ferns. So I thought it was really fun. Definitely gonna make one of these out of this. So yeah, very, very excited to have something kind of summery in my wardrobe. Because yeah, why not? Why not? It'll be good for like events and barbecues too over the summer. So why not? Come out of my comfort zone just a little bit. But in my comfort zone, I purchased this fabric. You guys are gonna laugh. It's quilting cotton, but I could not resist. I got 4 yards of it. I might make one of these dresses out of it. I haven't decided yet, but really it's just black quilting cotton with these really awesome metallic moon phases and stars, and it won my heart. So I really wish that it came in Shuttles or some other kind of fabric, but I couldn't resist, so I got some yards of this. And I believe, I don't know who makes this one. I think it is Cotton and Steel. It's one of their new ones. So can you tell I'm like a huge Cotton and Steel fanatic? It's crazy. It's an addiction, really. So I ordered some more fabric, but I have to be honest, I'm not 100% sold on it. Again, when you order, it's really difficult ordering fabrics online as opposed to seeing the fabric in person. So it really is a gamble. However, fabric.com, I really need to broaden my horizons and start ordering from other sites, but it's easy sometimes, and I'm just like, oh, let me see what they have, what's new in stock at fabric.com. So again, not endorsed, just a fan. They have a really good return policy. So, anything that you order you don't like, you can always ship back to them free of charge. So, and they resell it in the store as is. But I got this. It looked a lot darker and more reddish online. This is very bright magenta. I think it goes. I could pull it off, but at the same time, I'm not in love with it, so this might go back. And it is Shuttles, but yeah, it just has like this interesting herringbone print to it. So I don't know. It's pretty. I don't know. It might be just a little bit too loud for me. So there's that. And then the other fabric that I'm not 100% sold on, as you know, double gauze, but I saw this one and I immediately just drooled over it. But now that I'm seeing it in person, you're not even gonna be able to see this. It is like a very light, like gossamer gray, I wanna say. And then it has, I don't know if you can see this. There you go. This geometric metallic pattern on it. It's super pretty, and it just, guys, I don't know when, like, I would probably make a dress like this out of it, but I don't know, it kind of reminds me of a wedding dress. If I were to wear a dress out of this, I would feel like I were wearing a wedding dress, and I don't know if that's the vibe I want to feel when I'm wearing things, but at the same time, this could be like such a pretty, airy, kind of princessy type dress. I don't know, I mean, I love the idea of it, but I don't know if it's that practical for me to make a dress out of this, because I would probably only wear it to like a special event or something, I don't know, and I couldn't wear it to a wedding, but anyway. Oh goodness, when have I ever been practical? The other thing is, like, I'm thinking it's a little too bright for me. It's a little too, it washes me out even more so, but I don't know. What do you think? I'm still on the fence about it. I'm not ready to let go yet, but I got 4 yards of it. It's really pretty, but at the same time, I'm thinking it's just a smidge too loud. Oh. Yeah, anyway, decisions. Okay, moving along, let's talk about rabbit holes, shall we? Because I've been doing some weaving, my friends. Weaving has been the latest crazy rabbit hole I've fallen down. As I mentioned, my wonderful mother-in-law gifted me a rigid Heddle loom, an Ashford Samplelt 10-inch rigid Heddle loom, and I've been having so much fun with it, you guys. And the more I use it, the more I'm learning, the more I'm actually falling in love with it. And I posted this project over the weekend. I was working on it, and you guys, I finished it in a day. I warped the loom the night before and spent all of Saturday, or I want to say Sunday, weaving. I still have to finish it off a little bit and weave in some ends, but this is what I finished over the weekend. And yeah, it's just a simple, what do I want to say? It's a simple plain weave, I want to say. Just back and forth with the shuttle, changing colors. I wrapped 4 different color yarns around 4 different shuttles, and yeah, just went back and forth, back and forth, and switched colors every, I want to say 18 passes, or picks, I should say. Picks is the right word when you go back and forth with a shuttle. So yeah, and this is scrap yarn that are leftover, stash yarn too, because I used some yarn that I purchased from Miss Bab's booth, I want to say 2 years ago. It's all 2-ply sock weight yarn, so this is like her sea glass color, and then this color right here, this pink, is from Jinx Yarns. Laura gifted this to me at some point, caked it up, started a project and never finished it, so it's just kind of been languishing in my stash, but I really love this color, and it's her Howl's Castle color. And some of it also has my yarn in it, so I used some Footsie base, which is a BFL nylon blend in Dirty on Purpose, and then I also used some blitzed in Black Pearl. And I don't know if you can see it, but it just adds like this really nice little, if you look really hard, you can see the shimmer, but it's very subtle. But yeah, this was just so enjoyable to weave, and I blocked it and it just fluffed up. I actually tossed it in my, I wet blocked it, so I let it soak with some soak wash, and then just tossed it in my dryer on, you know, a warm setting, like nothing super hot, but after it came out, it just kind of fluffed up, filled in all the little weaving gaps, and we have a scarf. Granted, it's not as long as I would prefer my scarves to be, or as wide, I want to say. So next time I warp a shawl, I'm going to make sure that my warp is extra long compared to what I've been warping. And I have like this super long IKEA desk up in my craft room, which I thought would be longer than the dining room table, which it is, but it's only, yeah, it's definitely not long enough. So I have to add like I don't know, a side table or something for me to add some more length to it. But yeah, otherwise this is still wearable. I really love the way these colors play together. I tassellated the edges, although I will say I did I did invest in a fringe twister. I went on to the woolery.com like you do. and got a fringe twister to save myself some sanity and make the ends look a little bit more neater and tidier. And what else did I want to say about this? Oh yeah, and I wove this on my new reed that I got for specifically sport to fingering weight and lace yarn. I think, you know, this accepts lace yarn as well. So when it comes to weaving, there are different size reeds that you can use, and this is the thing that you use to beat down on, you know, when you do a pick, when you shoot the shuttle through the shed. I'm getting it, you guys. When I shoot the shuttle through the shed, you beat down with the reed, and this reed is a 2.5 size reed. So there are 61 little slots in here, and then it's sized for either fingering weight to, I'm gonna say sport weight to fingering or lace weight yarn. So that's what I used for this project. And the reed that the loom came with is a 7.5, which is, you can see, compared to this one, has a lot less, the spaces between the slots are wider, which is geared towards worsted weight and DK weight yarns. I do have some lace weight in my stash that I want to bust through, and I was looking on the Woolery, and they actually have a size 15, what is it? A 15, I think it's called a 15 dent. By the numbers, they're called dents. So this is a 7.5 dent, I believe, and this is a 2.5 dent, and then the one that I just purchased is a 15 dent. And they're not terribly expensive. They're, you know, I want to say $24, $25 US. So not a huge investment. So yeah, I purchased the 15 dent one, and that should be coming in the mail today or tomorrow, because I do have some lace weight in my stash that I don't really plan on knitting with immediately or at all. So it would be really nice to kind of breathe new life into those skeins, and the 15 dent will definitely be good for the slots are even narrower. It's going to take me a really long time to warp, but at the same time, I'm just so glad that I'll be able to bust through that stash and, you know, give some life to that yarn, because yeah, I should be using it. It shouldn't be languishing, right? Anyway, so I'm really excited to play around with that. And what kind of itched me on to get that size reed is that I was looking on Ravelry. I have to say there aren't many resources for weaving online as much as there is for knitting and crochet and everything. However, Emily, who's a Slow Fashion Rebel, she helps me once a week with packaging. Hi, Emily. She recommended Weavolution. It's considered like the weaving version of Ravelry, if that makes sense. So I'll post a link to it, and they have a lot of patterns and projects on there. However, I was browsing Ravelry and stumbled on this one person. I believe she's based in Germany. LUCKYBIRDY, I want to say her name is, and her weaving is, oh my gosh, you guys, I was just so inspired by all of her weaving projects, and it's nothing like super fancy. It's just all of her projects are plain weave. She uses a rigid Heddle loom, I think one size up from the one that I have. I think she has like an 18-inch one or 60 centimeter Ashford rigid Heddle loom. So that might be, I don't know. I don't want to say anything, but I want to get good with the one that I have right now. But she uses like a size slightly larger than mine, and all of her shawls that she knits or weaves are just stunning. I must have spent about a half an hour drooling over her project page, because I will post a link, of course, to her project page in the show notes because I think it's definitely worth checking out. And I hope she doesn't mind me mentioning her. She probably has no clue who I am. But anyway, yeah, I was just stalking her Ravelry project page because all of her weaving projects are absolutely beautiful and stuff that I would like to aspire to. And again, they're not complicated projects. It's just mixing and matching different colors. She uses, again, a lot of lace weight, specifically and mainly, I want to say, Voolenvine lace garn, and the projects are just absolutely beautiful. Anyway, I could go on forever about it, but totally inspired me to get the 15 dent reed, and so I'm looking forward to having some fun with that. And I may have purchased some Malabrigo lace yarn. Again, I didn't want to go crazy. I wanted to budget myself accordingly, but like I did purchase some lace weight Malabrigo yarn to have fun with that. So anyway, hopefully on the next podcast I'll have something to write home about that. So anyway, that is weaving for this week. Although, oh wait, no, but wait, there's more. I did get this book on Amazon, Rigid Heddle Weaving. Yeah, by Betty Lynn Davenport. Hands-on rigid Heddle weaving. And it's a basic, honestly, like I really couldn't preview the book online. Yeah, I know I probably could have gone to the library or borrowed the book or something, but I'm one of those instant gratification people, so I had to treat myself. But anyway, it's a really good book. I highly recommend it. It's very in-depth and very intuitive instructions on how to get started weaving. It touches on a lot of helpful points and lots of great illustrations and projects. A lot of great beginner projects to be had in here. For example, this is one of the first projects that you can make from the book, and it's beautiful. It's not, you know, it looks like something you could actually gift to somebody. It doesn't look janky or anything. Like, I don't know, it looks like something you would pay for. That's what I'm saying. So, but yeah, they definitely get into a lot of detail, and it's just, I highly recommend it. If you have a rigid Heddle loom, don't know where to begin, and you know, you want something tangible other than a YouTube video tutorial to look at, this is definitely a good place to start if you need a tangible book. So anyway, check it out. We'll link to it in the show notes. I'm gonna move along to shop update because I have an update this Friday, April 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So let me get the yarns that I will have in the shop for you. This week I will have some more Dirty on Purpose. And here it is on my Nouveau base, and here it is on my Footsie base. And then I will also have some more Edinburgh. You guys, I can't get enough of dyeing this color. It just makes me so happy. I have to knit something out of it very soon, but you guys, I've just been having so much fun dyeing it up, and I've been getting a lot of requests for it, so I have no problem dyeing more of it. So yeah, we'll have more Edinburgh this week. Here it is on Nouveau, my single ply base, superwash merino, and Volca, my superwash merino nylon cashmere base. And now that the weather is getting warmer, I've decided to roll in some of the springtime colors, or colors that are more springtimey, if that makes any sense. So I have brought back Enjoy the Silence. It's that color. Here it is on Nouveau, and here it is on Footsie. And then I also brought back a very popular colorway, Pandora. So it's similar to Enjoy the Silence in that it has like a white base, but then in contrast it has kind of like pink, black, and peach speckles. So it's an oldie but a goodie, but it's back. Some Strange Brews that will be in the shop. This one I dyed up the other day, and I thought it was really fun. So, you know, just playing around with yellows and teals and speckle pops and everything. But I'm calling this one Black Mirror because Black Mirror is a show that Dennis and I have been watching like crazy during the week. So yeah, we really like Black Mirror. So I don't know why it wanted to be called Black Mirror. So Black Mirror Strange Brew. So there's that, and then I have some other Strange Brews that I thought I popped into the shop last week, but somehow they did not make it in. Not sure how that happened, but this one I called Dracula. So this will be in the shop on Volca only. Yeah, I think that is it. And then I'm going to be dyeing up some more colorways today. I'm gonna try and dye some Grimm and one more other colorway. So I don't know what that one is going to be. It might be more Strange Brews, but that's how I work. I have to dye what I feel like in the moment. I don't know, call me crazy, but I like working that way. So yeah, I hope you can make the shop update. Again, it's gonna be tomorrow, Friday, April 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Again, thank you so much to everybody who signed up for the Strange Brew Yarn Club. Those will be shipping out, the first installment, I want to say the second week of May. So really looking forward to dyeing those. I've been having so much fun with Strange Brew colors, and you know, I've been getting a lot of great feedback from the ones that I have been dyeing, so very, very, very excited about that. The other exciting news is that I am auditioning currently some more warmer weather friendly yarns. By that I mean lace weight. So it's been a while since I've dyed lace weight yarn. However, I thought I might as well just give it a try again, give it another chance, and see where that takes me, because I feel like lace weight has not had its fun in the sun, if that makes any sense. I don't know, call me crazy, but yeah, I have been auditioning a couple of lace weight bases, so tune in next week. I will let you know more details on that. But yeah, now that the weather is getting warmer, I think DK weight is gonna take a little hiatus until the weather cools down again, and swap that out with a lace weight yarn. So, you know, for those of you who are not fans of sitting with woolly things in your lap during the summer, can knit with lace, because it's nice and airy and summery. And anyway, you know, just to mix things up. I like mixing things up a little bit. So there is that. So anyway, that said, I think that is it for the content this week. So I'm gonna move along to the blather segment, where I chat about what's been happening in my life, should you care to stick around. If not, happy knitting, and I will see you next time. But yeah, stick around if you want to find out what's been going on with me. So as far as what's been going on in my life, taxes are over, finally, thank goodness. I'm so glad to have that out of the way. It was pretty stressful. The struggle was real, I'm not gonna lie. As it is every year, because yeah, anyway, you don't want to hear about taxes. It's done, it's over. But on a happier note, yeah, last weekend Dennis and I went to our friend's baby shower. It was really nice, the weather was perfect. They had a really nice event. The whole thing was catered, which I thought was brilliant. Honestly, like, if you're throwing a party, hire someone to cater it. Why stress out over, you know, sweating it off in the kitchen and worrying if everyone's entertained or blah blah blah. Just hire people to do it. I've become a huge advocate of just outsourcing things, because yeah, if you suck at doing something, hire someone else to do it if it needs to get done. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox about that. But anyway, other than that, I've been watching Victoria on PBS. I'm a proud subscriber to PBS. So yeah, that I've really been enjoying watching that series. I finished season 1, so now there's a whole nother season that I get to watch, but I've just been like binge watching that every night before Dennis comes home, after I'm done with work. And you know, after I'm done with work, I just go up to my craft room, knit a little bit, catch up on Victoria, get like maybe 2 episodes in. It's just been really, really nice and relaxing, and again, the costumes are amazing. I think that is it for this week, so I am gonna end it there. Happy knitting. If you enjoy this podcast and you are new, please feel free to like and subscribe below. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in, hanging out with me, talking about all the things making wise, and I hope you have an awesome knitty weekend. Bye.